we come here and discuss matters affecting Africa, socially, politically, economically. We are Ubuntu to the world. So welcome, welcome. We have interesting topics today, and we are talking about the Zambian parliaments, the National Assembly, and also the recent sale of Mopani mine. Yes. So those are our main topics today. We are talking today about Zambian politics, and we are talking about the parliament, the National Assembly, and the duties of members of parliament. And we'll also look at the sale of Mopani. We are going to look at privatization versus nationalization. What are the advantages? And we'll also look at why the government decided to put Mopani mine in a private holding company. How is that going to affect Zambia? How is that going to affect our country by the decision of the current government to put one of the major mines into another private company or holding company? So welcome, 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 guys. Don't be scared. I know the International Broadcasting Act or law is still going legislation. They are yet to enact it, and I don't think it will pass. So don't be scared already. I know some people, they are already scared to come online. I know that the so-called Zambezi force is already targeting people exercising their freedom of speech and association. We have received the intel that the Zambezi force are already attacking Zambians who have a divergent view. They are being summoned to police stations and asked to produce a license. That is illegal. At this point, the license is not yet in force. The law is not in force. So if someone summons you to a police station and ask for a license, that is illegal, guys. Take their name and number. Take their name, take a picture of them, take a video of them as they ask you about your license. Yes. So these, they have already some overzealous people are already asking for licenses. Yes, they are asking for licenses. If they see you are posting political content, there is a group of people who are already targeting bloggers or influencers who are posting political comment or political videos or anything. There is a group of praise singers or purported police who are actually visiting people and asking them about their content and ask them to produce a license. So share, guys. We'll get started pretty soon. I'm just sharing in my groups. Very important information here. We are going to discuss. You have to know your rights, understand your ground. Yes. Do not be intimidated. Do not let people abuse your freedoms. Yes. Don't let people abuse your freedoms. And people, if you know your rights, people won't abuse your freedoms. So it's very important, guys, that you know your rights and your freedoms, that if anyone asks you for a license to broadcast, if you post something political and they ask you for a license, that is illegal. The law is not yet in force. Yes, the law is not yet in force. So if someone asks you for a license, that is illegal. They are violating your right. So know your rights, ladies and gentlemen. Stand your ground and do not give in to intimidation or any kind of a violation of your right. So we'll get started pretty soon here. Share. We are almost 50 people watching. If all of you share, we can reach 100. Tag somebody, share with somebody. Yes. So if you tag somebody, share with somebody, we are going to reach 100 pretty soon. But Jackson, how are you? Good to see all of you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yes. So share, guys. Share, share, share. So invite people. It's almost 50 people here. So if each one of you share with somebody, share in a group, tag is somebody, will reach 100 pretty soon. Very important information that I'm going to discuss here. All right, Raggy, good to see you. How are you? Stephen Mwaba, good to see you. Jackson Ingwe, yes. Beatrice Benson, good to see you. So share, guys, very important information. We shall continue broadcasting until the law is effected. Yes, we will not stop. We will not stop broadcasting because the law is not yet in force. So do not be scared. Yes, but I don't think it's gonna come to that. Yes, so welcome, guys. Abdul, good to see you. How are you? Long time. Yes, we are here. We are here. It's Friday. I know people are busy, but I just wanted to come and talk about the breaking news, and then people can watch the video in their time. Also, people can watch it on YouTube. Follow. We changed the names, so I'm going to put the link of the new YouTube name. So we go global. We are actually expanding our coverage, not only to focus on Zambia, because we are not going to focus on Zambia only because they are trying to enact a law to require a license to talk about anything political in Zambia. So to avoid that, to avoid being sued or liable, we are rebranding the page to Go Global. So we'll be talking about matters that affect Africa and beyond. So that's why I'm saying that our YouTube page name has changed. We are now our new name for YouTube is now Africa and Beyond. And this page also next I think next week on April 6th, I'll be able to change the page name to Africa and Beyond so that we focus whatever we discuss here will not be about Zambia. I'll give you a brief history. This page started in 2020, running up to the 2021 elections. So because of that, 90% of our viewers, our followers, our audience, because we started this page to campaign in 2020, 90% of our viewers, they are from Zambia. So, and because 90% they are from Zambia, when this law comes in force, it means we will not be used, the Zambian people will be cut off this page. Like right now, you can even see the coverage, the page is being censored. They are censoring pages because like last night we were on TikTok. Last night we were on TikTok with Mamachka Monica. We had over 10,000 people on live. But here we only have 50 people. And this page has almost 100,000. Almost 100,000 on this page. So you can tell the page is being censored. Not everybody is able to come on the page or see that we are live or find the page. So I've put a tag there for the new page for the YouTube channel. Eventually, I think Facebook will be shut down. Like Facebook is actually blacked out. A lot of people, they can't see this page on Facebook. That's why you see the viewership is very low. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel and you'll find all the videos on YouTube. Don't be scared. This law is not yet in force. The law is not yet in force. We are not going to promote anarchy. So since the law is not yet in force, we'll continue advocating and coming here to discuss the breaking news politically. But I just want to say that before we get to the law coming in force, it is a duty for all Zambians at this point where we have reached. Zambia, if every Zambian does not step up, we are going to head into a disaster, political disaster. We are already in economic disaster. You know, food prices are too high, fuel prices too high, you know, the roads are bad, poor health care, the economy is in a big mess. Politically, all our arms of governance, executive, legislature, and the other one, they are all compromised. So we as Zambians need to step up and talk about what is happening. And that's why they want to enact this law to require a license so that nobody talks. If you talk against their bad governance, you'll be arrested. We are actually heading to a full dictatorship. Now we are in a mini dictatorship. If this law is approved, it is going to be full dictatorship. So I am asking here to say all citizens of Zambia must contact their MPs to vote against the International Broadcasting Act, which they want to regulate. So please contact your MPs, whether they are PFU, PND, independent, any MP, please talk to your MPs and let them shoot down this law. Let this law requiring licenses be thrown out. If this law requiring independent broadcasters goes through, it will be like, you know, it to allow anything that this evil government is doing to go through. It will allow rigging of the elections, and you can't talk. Any malpractice that you see, if you speak, you'll be arrested, charged, and whatever, and they won't give you the license. For example, if they see Pumulos wants a broadcasting license, she talks against the government, they won't give me the license. And the day I will speak, they will throw me in jail, fine me, and whatnot. So it is a duty for all of you citizens to ensure that all your MPs pass a vote of no confidence in this law, and MPs must also pass a vote of no confidence in the speakers. The speakers, they are not doing our democracy justice. So let us pass a vote of no confidence in the speakers, and also with the sale of the Mopani. I saw an article written by Dr. Freddie Membe where the clear violation of the Constitution by selling the mine. Mopani mine has been sold at in a private and secretive manner, completely bypassing the National Assembly. And what has happened, the whole transaction to sell Mopani is a crime and it's a violation, and the president must be answerable. And right now we should have proceedings to impeach the president, because the president has continued to violate the Zambian constitution. Okay, so welcome guys, welcome. Now I have my points here. The three things I want to talk about today is the members of parliament, the National Assembly, and also the sale of Mopani. I have my notes here. Let me just pull up. I'll start with the National Assembly. Yes. So I'll start with the National Assembly. So what is the role of the National Assembly? The role of a National Assembly is essential to the functioning of a democratic governance and providing a forum of legislative decision-making, representation of the people, oversight of government actions, and the resolution of political disputes. That is the duty of the National Assembly. But in the context right now, the main issue that I have against that the current National Assembly is that they are not performing the role. They are part, it's like the National Executive, like the National Assembly is part of the executive. The three arms of government is judiciary, executive, and legislature. These are the three arms of government. So the executive is the president, office, state house, and legislature is the judiciary, and the National Assembly, right? I'm confused. So judiciary, legislature, and executive, yes. So the National Assembly belongs to the legislature to make the laws of the land. So the executive is the president, and then you have the judiciary, where you have the direct public prosecutors. Now these three wings, they are supposed to work independently. Now what is happening in Zambia is that all the head of these other wings, the president, we elected the president, then the president turned and appointed the speaker. Also, the president turned and appointed the judiciary, the head of judiciary. Now, in our current setup, the whole way things are working, it is they are compromised because the judiciary reports to the executive and the legislature, which is the speakers, they are reporting to the executive. So now the problem we are having is that the legislature, which is the National Assembly, the speakers Nelly Muti and the Comrade Moyo, they are supposed to be neutral. They are supposed to be neutral. The role of the National Assembly is to enact laws. The members of the Assembly propose, debate, amend, and vote on legislation. So in Zambia, none of this is happening. Decisions are being made outside the National Assembly. And if you watched today, you saw Comrade Impundu or any member of parliament who has tried to say anything, they are curtailed by the speakers. So the speaker are supposed to be like a referee in that National Assembly. So we can say here that all the speakers of this National Assembly, legislature, they are all compromised. All the speakers are compromised. And for me, because all the speakers are compromised, I would like the members of parliament to start a motion and impeach these speakers. I know something was started last year, which saw some members of parliament being put on 30-day suspension. I think seriously, now I'm talking to the members of parliament. I have touched briefly on the performance of the legislature. The speakers of the assembly, they are compromised. The role of the National Assembly is to enact laws, and then there are referees in that parliament. They should allow debate. They should allow amendment of laws. They should allow free and fair voting and addressing pertinent issues. But we find that now in the assembly, what is happening in the assembly is that these speakers, they are there to stop any democratic process. So me, I'm here to speak to the conscience of all members of parliament in Zambia. Members of parliament, you were elected to represent your people. What is the role of a member of parliament? Representation, legislation, constituency work, policy making, scrutiny of government, representation of political parties, and constitutional duties, including community engagement. This is the duty of a member of parliament. A member of parliament should not be eating in a hand of the ruling government. Members of parliament should not be a chola boy for the executive. No. That's why when we have elections, all constituencies come and vote for MPs to represent what the people want. So I am here to ask members of parliament and just say, members of parliament, think about your suffering people in your constituencies. Think about the woman who's selling tomatoes in the street. Think about the youth who's making money by being an influencer on political matter. Facebook is paying him, TikTok is paying him. Think about those people before you make any decision or before you bring in laws that are going to bring more suffering to the Zambians. Dear members of parliament, tag a member of parliament. I want all of you, if you know a member of parliament, please tag them. This is the time for member of parliament in Zambia to make a historical decision and forget about money in their pocket and think about their people. African history is mad with greedy leaders. If we look at back, our ancestors sold our own people into slavery. Our ancestors agreed with colonial masters and for a few pieces of silver, whatever they were receiving, an attire, they were given promises, and our ancestors sold our own people into slavery because of greed. It is a curse on Africa. And now we see this same thing happening modern day in Zambia. Other African countries, they have moved on. But modern day in Zambia, we see the greed of our leaders coming through. And I say the greed is coming through because we have seen how our leaders are failing to speak for justice. This is the same evil spirit which made our ancestors to sell our own people into slavery. Modern day today, we have members of parliament sitting in parliament and let harsh decisions be taken. We have members of parliament voting for decisions to oppress their people. We have members of parliament being quiet instead of speaking against the evil dictatorship tendencies of this government. If you are if you are a member of parliament and you are quiet, you are part of the crime. Silence is violence. Today here, I'm appealing everyone, tag a member of parliament. The only people who are going to save Zambia in this current mess that we are heading to are the members of parliament. Because Zambia, luckily enough, our constitution still stands. That's why Dr. Freddie Membe said he is going to start proceedings to impeach the current president for violating the constitution. So right now, all of us, all well-meaning Zambian, if you want to live a Zambia, if you want a Zambia that is gonna be here there 5 years from now, you better stop talking and stop this evil government in its tracks. Because where we are going, if we sit quiet, this government, where it is taking us, is going to be terrible. It is going to be terrible. It is going to be bad. It's getting from bad to worse. And the only people who can save Zambia now is the members of parliament, because they have the mandate of the people. There are 156 members of parliament. This is the 3 speakers. Zambia is a democracy. We are counting on you, members of parliament. Unite and fight for Zambia. This is my appeal today. Is members of parliament, you are the one to save Zambia from where this country is going. It is headed in the wrong direction. A lot has been happening, and a lot is happening in the background, which God is bringing to light. So, number one, that in the law to require license must be stopped in its tracks. Number two, the sale of Mopani is a heartache. It comes at a heartache to me. Why does the sale of Mopani come as a heartache? The sale of Mopani comes a heartache to me because of several reasons. One, it is undervalued. It is undervalued, and it's basically like looting. It is basically giving away that mine for free. How can a mine that was pegged at $1 billion sell for $100 million, 140 million from $1 billion? A mine which has, we don't even know how much minerals are down there. And then that's one. The value is grossly underpriced. It's like looting. Two, that mine is bought, has been sold to a brand new company, which was formed, I think, recently. The buyers of the mine are brand new, which was for the people who bought that mine. The company that bought that has bought Mopani, was formed after New Dawn came to power. All those are things to think about. And the other thing is that this is a private company. We have ZCCAM. We have the people of Zambia. Why can't the people of Zambia unite their monies together and buy that Mopani? So the selling of this Mopani to a private company is impoverishing Zambians, because it is putting money in the hands of a few people. Again, Zambians have been lost out. If a company is in the hands of a private company, not a national company, it means only few people will benefit. And that's why this Mopani has been sold to a private company, because the current government, they are not thinking about 20 million Zambians. They are thinking about their pockets, enriching themselves. Because if they were thinking about 20 million Zambians, they would think about getting a fair price for the mine, so that whatever proceeds come from that mine, all Zambians can benefit. But the fact that only it's been sold for peanuts, the current the leadership, the government that sold that mine for that meager $140 million, they are only thinking about them. A private company, maybe there are 10 people, 10, 15 people who own that company. It's private. So that's a lot of money for them. They are not thinking for you. If this government was thinking for you, they have put that market on an international market, and their companies, believe me, copper is most expensive now. The value of copper will continue to go up. Believe me, if that Mopani was put on a global market, a company would have come and bought that mine for 1 billion. But no, the sale of this mine was private, and it has been sold to people who just formed that company barely 2-3 years ago. In their that the wealth, the value, they have sold it at a cheap price. This money they have sold it, they probably have that money in their bank account. They will pay, and it's just sad, guys. It is sad what is happening. But I come to an end. And in my closing, I just want to appeal to members of parliament. Tag a member of parliament. At this point, Zambia, where it has reached, the only people who are going to save Zambia are the parliamentarians, because they are the lawmakers. The Zambian members of parliament need to stand up and speak for Zambians. I give credit to the Mambilima MP, the Honorable Jean Senga, and all the young men, Honorable Munia Zulu, Honorable Bino Mpundu, Honorable JJ Banda. I give credit to all the young, vibrant MPs who have been standing up. Now it's up to the rest of all the parliamentarians to stand up and fight for Zambia. Do not fall for greed. History will judge you harshly. Do not vote for laws that are going to oppress Zambians. Zambians are already suffering. Yes. More news will come out. More news is coming out. More news is coming out, and that's why they want to pass this law to stop us sharing information about all the shoddy deals they are doing. This is the reason. They are violating the rights of people. They are censoring Facebook. That's for sure. Because how can we go on TikTok and we have 10,000 people watching on TikTok live, and then you come on Facebook, there are only 40 people watching, a page with 100 people, 100,000. This page is almost 100,000 people, but they are censoring it. So, APA, talk to your MPs. This is our hope, guys. Our only hope to save Zambia is the members of parliament. They have to say no to these evil laws. They have to stand with the people. Otherwise, if the MPs, they stay quiet, they'll go down in history as the MPs who helped a government to recolonize the country, for lack of a better word. Zambia is headed for recolonization, but the fact is the people who are recolonizing us are our own leaders. Mm-hmm. We are not seeing Abasungu to come to Zambia. It is our own leaders who are recolonizing us. So our job, our only thing we can do right now is to ask our members of parliament to be men and women of integrity and stand up and save Zambia. Chapwa. Yes, that's all we can do. Now the battle now. We have talked, we have said enough, but the battle to save Zambia is remaining with our honorable men and women in the parliaments. If you are honorable, please do not sign off these draconian laws, dictatorship laws, Zambia will be in a big mess. We have to impeach Nelly Muti and the team. Nelly Muti is not for the people. She is not representing Zambia. She is representing dictatorship laws, oppressive laws, which are stopping even a member of parliament. Imagine Nelly Muti and Wamoyo disrespect members of parliament. What about an ordinary person like you and me? Nelly Muti was handpicked and put in that role. But members of parliament were elected. Some constituencies, 40,000 people voted for MP. Nelly Muti was just handpicked for that role, but Nelly Muti disrespect honorable men and women who were voted from their constituencies. So now ask yourself, Nelly Muti, if she's not impeached, what is she incapable of doing? Look at how they imposed Mao Sampa and Chavinga. And this is what they don't want. This is why they want to bring in a law to stop us from talking, so that they can do whatever evil thing they are doing and nobody's questioning. It's a problem for them. If someone wants to take away your freedom of speech, know that they don't mean well for you. Know that they want to mistreat you, and they don't want the whole world to know that you are being mistreated. It's the same as, I've seen some women who are in abusive marriages, and their husband, they tell them, tandala. Why? Because they know that if their wife go visiting, they are going to share the problem in the house. And a very good friend who had the boyfriend gave her everything she wanted. The boyfriend gave my friend everything she wanted, flying her for shopping in Lusaka. Oh my God, every month buying clothes, shoes. But just one thing, he told my friend, don't associate with yourselves. Don't associate with your friends. So I couldn't see my friend. And what's happening? I don't see, I'm busy. He always tells me, if you want to go somewhere, I'll go with you, or I'll take you, I'll drive you there. So I have to wait for him to come. So my friend thought the husband loved her so much, until later things started coming out. And we knew things, like we knew, us as our friends, we knew things that her husband was doing. But because her husband stopped her, that time there were no cell phones. We didn't have cell phones. We only have public phone. The person has to go to a public phone to receive that call. It's not like today where you hear something, you can call someone, text you, whatever. If it was word of mouth. Everything was word of mouth. So my friend was abused, and her friend who kept her husband, kept her in the house. I'll take you everywhere, and avoided us from meeting her, because the husband knew, if my friend meets if we meet our friend, we are going to tell our friend what we are hearing. Mumush. So the same thing is happening, want to happen here. But they want to do the same thing. They don't want information to share, to be moving freely. But I can just say that in the day when our freedom fighters fought for independence, UNIP, there was no social media. There were no computers. So they are just wasting their time. But when KK and the UNIP, our forefathers, when they got independence, there was no social media. But they managed kulwa n'abasungu. No kubafunyap. Good evening, comrade.
Is that me?
Hello?
How are you?
Good. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you.
Welcome. The floor is yours.
I, I see, I see. I was just curious as to what is happening with the parliament. A lot of things that I see going on are things that can easily be fixed. You were talking about the what's her name? The
Yes.
speaker, right? First of all, we know that she's what? She's UPND, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was appointed,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Yes.
based on the law, she's acting like she's not in, she's supposed to be neutral, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
right? But everything she's doing is to cater to UPND,
Exactly.
right? So what are we to do? What are the people supposed to do? Obviously, everybody is losing hope or losing trust, you know. So as far as the MPs are concerned, what can they do when she's acting or every action that she takes is against them? You know. So the issues that the MPs are dealing with, meaning the ones that are in the opposition, she's never on their side. Does she see what it is that they talk about? To me, it comes across as she's looking at them that they are just complaining. When they are making valid points, she doesn't listen to them. You know? So how is that supposed to help? So we can all say she's doing this, she's doing that. But when it comes down to it, we just need to understand that the MPs themselves, either they are UPND or they are PF or whatever political party they belong to, they need to stand up to her. You know, they need to exercise their power. Meaning, just because you are a UPND doesn't mean you have to agree with everything UPND leaders say. You have to have the backbone to stand against them, right? So that comes back now to us as voters. When we are voting them in, are we putting people that are going to go against their leadership? Because we just go by whoever is popular at the moment. That doesn't help anything, right? So when you're talking about the MPs to, okay, we are putting hope in them when it comes to the law that you were mentioning to do with the TikTok or what Facebook law,
Social media, the entire
the
social
social
media.
media law, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's the same issue. Are the UPND members of parliament going to go against what the leadership is proposing? Chances are they are not. They're just going to fall in line, you know. So is there enough opposition to the law? Probably not, right?
Right.
So what you end up having now is that, regardless of what UPND says, everything goes. But we need leadership, I mean, the members of parliament within UPND to be able to stand up and say, no, this is affecting my people in my constituency, right? Can we find those people within UPND? Probably not. So we just have to vote them out, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So the question is, how do we challenge them to see that the law itself that they are supporting doesn't help their members or their constituency, right? So I don't know how the mobilization go, but I think that's where it needs to start. Especially the young people need to stand up. If they are going to censor everything, I mean, as far as making sure that nobody has access to social media, or you have to have this permit for you to be able to streamline anything. How many people gonna afford that?
They won't even give it to you.
Exactly.
They'll be like,
You
who
know,
is this one talking? We are not going,
precise.
denied.
Right. So then what do we need to do? Again, back to the members of parliament. Those are the only ones that we can lean or we can push. Because if they don't listen to their constituency, then who else is going to vote them in, right? So then again, back to the issue of how do we get these members of parliament to do the right thing, other than following whatever leadership says, you know? So, well, thank you very much. I just want to make a comment there and just join
The
the
discussion.
discussion.
It's
Yes, indeed.
I appreciate your coming, and you have brought a valid points. Like, we need members of parliament who have a backbone.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
need men and women. If you remember earlier, I said our ancestors sold us into
Right.
slavery for a few pieces of coin, for
Very
promises,
much.
you know?
Very much so. We are heading
And
that direction.
and now, it's like history is repeating itself. That's why, I'm saying I speak to the young generation, the youth,
Right. Right.
you know. Like,
Right.
if you look at the composition of the parliament, the ones who are fighting the status quo as the young people.
Exactly. Exactly. But again, the young people can fight all they want unless they can reach their constituency to be on their side and be able to do the right thing themselves. Because okay, the ones in the opposition, for instance, there's those people, yes, they are fighting against UPND or the whatever party is in power. But for me, is the people that are in power themselves within that party. Are there people that can stand up to their leadership?
And this
We
is the
don't have, right,
exactly.
because
This
we don't have
is
independent minds whereby they can say, okay, I was brought in by my constituency. Yes, I'm going to listen to what you say, my leadership. But at the end of the day, I need to do the right thing for my constituency. We don't have that kind of group or such kind of people in the ruling party.
and
You know,
to agree with you, and you know why that is not happening, why we don't have such kind of people. Because in a Zambian political scene, for you to be a member of parliament, they adopt you. The ruling
which is
party
okay.
handpick people and say, Iwe, you are going to run here. And when
Right.
they are in parliament, they dance to the music of the person who gave them. You know, we can say a good example, which I can use, everybody knows, about Lydian Mutambo. She ran for
Right.
Mundali, but she was not adopted by UPND, Mamona, because
Right.
the
Right.
UPND handpicked somebody to put there. So we have all these members of parliament who have been funded by
Mm-hmm.
certain parties, and their role is when they go into parliament to vote whatever agenda the sponsor wants.
Right. Well, then I guess then we need to rethink of how we or look at how overall how are we choosing our leaders. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And for
How are we
us,
choosing those?
uh-huh.
Because if we are looking for someone to represent us in our community, is this person also interested in understanding that everything that we want or whatever the leadership is saying we're going to bring, is this person going to do those things for us? You know what I mean? Because chances are they just want to enrich themselves. Okay, we understand they are politicians, probably they're going to do that. But in the process of doing that, can we get something out of it too? For instance, when let's say the party, I mean the executive, for instance, the president is proposing to build something. Now, where's the money coming from, and how is it going to? Is it going? Are we going even going to see the jobs in our area from that project? So can we push our member of parliament to say don't vote for it until we know or that we are going to benefit from it, right? So in most cases, say, yeah, we are building this, we are bringing projects to your area, but who is benefiting from those projects? Can they account account can they show to say this is how my constituents benefited from this? You know, most likely, I don't think there is even a record how they can show that, my constituency is benefiting. I mean, to me, it's one of those that I think we don't put enough pressure on the members of parliament themselves. Because if we challenge them enough to say we are not going to send you there until you can show us how we are going to benefit from everything that you are going to bring, or if you're going to say I want to bring a bridge or to build a bridge here, which is very good, but are you actually going to do it, or are you just telling us you're going to do that? Because once you go over there, are you going to tell the president to say, okay, I need money for my bridge because this is what I promised? Are you going to get that money? But within the community, we need to have those community leaders who are going to challenge those members of parliament, because we need to hold them accountable. That's the only way. If the idea is just to look at them to say, okay, they promised they're going to do this because they are UPND, I'm UPND, they give me a little job here, a little job there. No, we need meaningful development, right? So how can we hold them accountable? It goes back to the community members themselves in the constituency. So we need to have that understanding that once we send them there, they are supposed to work for us instead of the party.
You are right. You are right. And to just to add on what you're saying, I think this is a teaching moment with the current situation that is happening in Zambia.
Right.
Is a learning moment for us, especially you, the young people going into the future. Learn from what is happening now. The reason why it is a learning, I'm saying it's a learning moment, and then it is because everything is exposed.
Oh,
In the
certainly,
previous
certainly.
elections, things were happening and we didn't get wind of them. We got wind
Exactly.
of them after it was said, done, and buried.
Right.
But
Now it's
now
much better.
information is in real time.
Exactly.
So what we probably cannot do anything now, but we really need to do, I think, two things that we need as Zambians is to speak to the conscience of members of parliament.
Exactly.
Because we know that you members of parliament, you were bankrolled by certain people. So in fact, that seat there you are sitting is not yours. It's for the person who bankrolled you to be in
Exactly.
that
Yep.
parliament.
Right. Very much
So
so. Very much so.
these members of parliament, some of them, they are compromised. They are,
Actually, yeah, a number of them are
yes,
compromised.
because
I
they were
mean,
bankrolled to be there. So we understand it.
exactly.
But the thing is, this is what we need to change for the future. Members
Oh,
of
certainly.
parliament, citizens don't vote for somebody who comes with a big Benz, a big SUV, and flashes around money. Vote
Right.
for yourselves. If Pumulo Stumbeko is from Mapangaya, she's just a poor farmer, vote for her. Because when she goes to Manda Hill, she'll remember where she came from.
Well, that's the hope until she get compromised when she
No,
goes
no, no,
there
no,
too.
no, no. Let us teach. For me, I'm a teacher. So I want, Zambia is not going to be developed if everyone is compromised. Mwamona.
Oh, certainly
And
not.
there is
Certainly not.
enough wealth for Zambians to share. I'm telling
Oh, yeah,
you.
that part is true.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have to educate our members of parliament, even if it's a young person, goes into parliament, make laws that are going to empower every Zambian. Zambia has enough money to share to everyone. Look at countries like
Right.
Norway, Dubai,
All
Qatar,
right. Yes. So, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's very important that especially the young ones understand that these members of parliament, yes, they are going there as a job per se, but at the same time, they are representative of your community. You want them to develop your community. That's the promise.
yes.
But how do we hold them accountable? So I think that's what we miss the most is lack of holding those people accountable. We fear them so much. You know what I mean? So that I think there is a disconnect. Once someone is a member of parliament, they are untouchable. No,
Vutuliemo.
exactly.
Mm-mm.
You know, so how to educate the community, I guess that's a big thing for them to understand that, yeah, I'm sending this one to represent my community, instead of just the party. Because I think that's one of the major things is as long as I belong to this party, is the popular party right now, I'm good. No, let's look at how much work can you bring to the community, you know? So
It's
that's
so
the major, I
sad,
think, the
yeah,
major thing.
yeah. It is so sad what is happening, but
Yeah.
we have a duty to educate our future.
Oh,
The
certainly,
the
certainly.
youth, the young people do things the right way, you know.
Right,
And
right, right.
now, the young people, they are just like busy doing things,
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just like, you guys, you have no country. Before you know it,
right, exactly. But it's one of those things that I guess the members of parliament, again, that's the main people that we need to educate the most is, you represent your community. When you're talking development, it has to be in your community, not in Lusaka only, you know? So if you're going to look for funding and all that, do what you need to do to bring those funds to your community. Not okay. They do what they focus on CDF stuff, which is good and all, but at the same time, that's not enough. Can you go out of that, and engage stakeholders that you can bring in, you know, to build something instead of just relying on government money? So I guess they need to start thinking outside the box.
yeah. Anyway,
So,
it's an uphill battle, but I think right now where we are, to conclude,
hmm
I'll give my last take and then you can close. Um, right now where we are, we need the members of parliament are the people who we really need to stand their ground and hold
right,
these speakers accountable. If they need to impeach the speakers, let them do it. I
exactly,
think, like UPND members of parliament, it's time to stand with the country, stand with your people. Do not
right,
stand with the Nelly Muti or the president. Because what if you stand with the president will go down in history as the worst president. I was
oh,
listening to
definitely,
Tayali. He's saying that you
definitely,
people, even me, I have daughters, they are grown. I tell them, sometimes I'm your mother, but if I'm wrong, tell me. Don't let me just
right,
do what I'm thinking. Even if it's wrong, you just like, I'll kind of do whatever you are
right. You just
thinking.
let it go.
I'm being in self-destruction mode. So we are saying that, you know, UPND members of parliament, stand up to the president.
Exactly,
Stand up to Nelly
exactly.
Muti. Nelly Muti, you are UPND, but your role is not to represent UPND. Your role is about
Right,
partisanship in the assembly. It
exactly,
is a
exactly.
disgrace. She has disgraced us women, you know.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Nelly
yeah.
Muti has disgraced women in Zambia. She was given a most important role to unite the country and
Right,
to
right,
bring
right.
progress. And she can actually steer the conversations to debate on matters that are going to change people's lives.
Definitely,
But
definitely.
what is happening there? So I end here. I'm just going to be praying for members of parliament. Twami Papata. Tomi Womba, members of parliament in UPND, stand with your people.
Right,
It's the
right.
people who took you, they are not your president. Because all of you are going to be judged individually. That is one thing these people know. You might be
Right.
doing things in the name of your party, but when the day of reckoning comes, all of you will face your consequences individually. I end here. You can close your last comments.
Yeah, certainly. I agree with everything you just said. it's one of those things that members of parliament need to understand their power, understand the constitution, understand their roles. Okay, they are not there to enrich themselves. We know that. They know that themselves. But can they use the law as far as when it comes to separation of powers? They can't let the executive dictate. Okay, they can stand their ground to say, okay, we are here to make sure we are making the laws. You can't infringe on our powers over here. We need MPs who can do that. They don't necessarily have to be in the opposition. We need the ones within the party, you know, because we need those
Everybody.
kinds of
Mhm.
voices, you
Exactly.
know.
I like your emphasis on that,
I mean,
and I
because that's where everything
mhm,
hinges. I mean, if we are trampling on each other, that's
mhm.
where even the speaker you are talking about, yes, where she is, she's supposed to be overseeing the parliament and all that stuff, but she's getting direction. If she's paying attention to what is going on in the executive, then she's already losing power because now she's only working for the president.
Exactly.
You know, judiciary has to do the same. They need to be independent. Okay. So if we can get to those kinds of to that kind of mindset and practice that, I think we'd be better off. But the MPs need to understand their roles. No, that would be my take on that.
Thank you so much. So yeah, Vanelli Muti, she is like a stepmother. It's just an example. She is like, as a woman, you go to a marriage and you find their stepchildren there,
Right,
and
right,
then you have your own children. So
true.
as a stepmother, you are supposed to love your children equally.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right. But she's not practicing
No,
that.
she's not fair. She's not fair. But what she's forgetting is she's tarnishing her name. She's committing these crimes in the name of the executive. But
Right.
when the chickens come to roost, it will be Nelly Muti versus Zambia.
It's true. That's very true.
The legacy that she's creating, they
Oh,
will,
yeah, right now, I
yeah,
mean, she placed herself in one corner, which is the UPND. That's it.
and which is
I
a
mean,
bad government. If
so
UPND
far.
was doing things they promised, we would be praising Nelly Mut. Even if she is like, compromising the assembly. If Milimi was 50 kwacha, or, dollar ilipali 10 kwacha, ngature mutasha Nelly Muti pano. But look
Right.
at what is going on. It's a big mess.
Man, yeah, it's a mess at the moment. It's a mess.
All right. Thank
Oh
you,
my.
Comrade Divanelli Mutu. We continue praying for you. You have a huge responsibility. She's my sister. She's my big sister. Kiva Ulwa Nivaka. We come from together. When I come, we'll get on the
Uh,
same bus to go. Kwahaye, we'll
uh
be on the same bus.
I see.
She's my big sister, but we continue praying for our big sister, Nelly Muti, to
Certainly, certainly.
think,
Hope we should come to our senses.
yes, like let her think about the bigger picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let her
Exactly.
think
Need to put
about,
the country first.
yeah, the
So,
Zambians, there's poor people who are suffering. The
right, right, right.
MPs are just there to talk for the Zambians.
Oh,
They are not
oh,
there.
definitely.
All the MPs, I think they are all honorable members of parliament. Most of them, they're highly educated. They all have something going on. So even if they lost that seat, they won't starve. But
They'll still be
yeah,
okay.
but they are
Exactly.
there for the poor people. So that
Definitely.
said, thank you, and we continue to pray. I think we need sometimes spiritual intervention.
Special engagement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kuti twamuka fiye uluchelo vaneli muti vavyuka, and she does what she's there for.
Right. Would be amen.
It will be like, thank you, God, and then everything, because it's just it's hinging on a few people.
Oh, certainly.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, I don't know how to change their minds. That's the main thing. They just need that mindset
Yes,
thing.
sir. We shall
You
send.
know,
We will keep praying to God, to a God of miracles, so that.
certainly.
Thank you so much. Good night.
No
Appreciate
problem. Well,
it.
thank